Back in 2021, the United Party for National Development, UPND, swept into power on a wave of immense hope, promising Zambians a comprehensive economic revival and the firm restoration of democratic freedoms. Now, with 5 years having elapsed, citizens across the country are taking stock, and the central question on everyone's lips is simple yet profound. Why should Zambians once again trust them with their vote? Have they genuinely managed to deliver for the people, or have those grand promises fallen short? Tonight on this day, we pose those very important questions to the UPND media member Cephas Chisange, popularly known as the Eye Opener. He joins us right from the heart of the Copper Belt. He's in Lusaka, and we are privileged to be having him in our studios this evening. My name is Andrew Mwansa.
And my name is Chimweka Chileshe. Sorry, I've been losing my voice. Been down with a cold, but I know that I think a few days after the 16th of August 2026, a lot of people will probably lose their voices in jubilation, in celebration of their preferred candidate winning. The only thing is, right now, we do not know who that man or woman will be. But today we find out what the UPND is doing to ensure that their candidate is that man, and get to understand what has been happening and what also they plan to do.
Of course, like I said earlier on, our guest is the UPND media member Cephas Chisange, popularly known as the Eye Opener. He joins us to see whether he's going to open our eyes for the Zambians to see what the UPND have done. The Eye Opener, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us on this day tonight.
Good evening, Mwansa. Good evening, Chimweka. You guys are looking so excellent, eh?
Thank you.
Looking good.
Great to have you. How's the Copper Belt?
No, the Copper Belt is okay. We are pushing. We are on the ground trying to meet our people, talk to them, and also rearranging the party. So, all in all, we can just summarize to say everything is going very well.
I know you're in Chisange as the president was commissioning the solar power plant. I guess we'll get into that shortly. But still on the Copper Belt, I think the biggest perception is that things are not going on too well for you in the Copper Belt. That as the UPND, you are losing grip, especially in the urban areas. As somebody who's coming through from there, what's your observation?
Chimweka, I'm a resident of Copper Belt, and you know, some of us, we don't just use the natural eyes that we have. We use the political lenses to see through, even beyond mountains. And I can tell you, if somebody tells you to say the ground is so hot for the UPND, the opposition have taken over, what we are seeing is just noise. You need to understand that winning an election or controlling a certain province like Copper Belt is not about noise. It's about the message that you preach to the people. The question is, have we preached the message to the people? Have we done what we promised the people? The answer is yes. And I have to tell you today that President Upnd Chilema, if there's a province where he has pumped a lot of time, effort, development, is Copper Belt. And for that, I will tell you that the same development agenda, and also whatever that he has done is going to speak for him.
Was that deliberate to please the people there, and perhaps pressure coming through from the perception that the president and the ruling party is not popular in the Copper Belt?
No, you need to understand that Copper Belt, for the past 10 years of our colleagues, it almost went down. The backbone of the economy within the Copper Belt are the mines. And if you look back, we have KCM and Mopan. These are two giants sitting on the Copper Belt. They almost went down. All the mines, the other one was under liquidation, that is KCM. And when you talk of Mopan, it was under care and maintenance. So a lot of people lost jobs. People had no direction. The economy was going down. So we also have Mwansa, which was literally nothing. So when we came into power, the president realized that Copper Belt was so important. So he had to put more effort because the economy of Copper Belt went deep down the graves. So this is the reason why He had to do what he did, that is the President Hakainde Hichilema, to revive Copper Belt. And I can tell you, safely tell you that Copper Belt is back to life. When you look at the mining sector, Mopani, which was dead, KCM, as we speak right now, Mopani has recruited, within the period that we have received the partner, we are talking of close to 7,000 jobs. That is Mopani alone. Direct jobs, that is permanent jobs, 2,700. Contractors and suppliers, around 4,000. So that is a sign. That is a sign to tell you that truly the economy and lives on the Copper Belt are coming.
So in a nutshell.
And also Shaft 28. You remember our colleagues, they turned that Shaft 28 into scrapyard. This is where these cadres used to go and steal scrap. When my brother Kamburi was asked about that mine, remember, he said this man can't come back to life. President Hakainde Hichilema just took one trip to China. Go and see what is happening in Luansha there. We are now calling it New Luansha because the roads are being done. For 10 years of our colleagues in power, they even failed to do a 15 kilometers or 20 kilometers road from the junction there, Luansha Junction, coming to Luansha. They failed to do that road. Go and see what is happening there. Go and see at the mine.
So in a nutshell, what you're telling us is, from your observation, the people of the Copper Belt are happy with President Hakainde Hichilema and they're happy with the ruling party, and they are confident that you'll get a great number of votes from the Copper Belt.
Yes, definitely. Because I have talked of the developmental agenda that is going on. I can also safely mention here that we had a road, a terrible road from Chingola to Kasumbalesa, up to the border there. Now, if you look back and compare with the road that we have put up there,
but you see, so
okay?
it's one thing.
Before you come in, listen. That driver who was having challenges to go to Chililabombwe, that marketeer, that business lady who was having a lot of challenges when they are taking their produce to the border, today they are now happy. Are you telling me they are going to stand against President Hakainde Hichilema?
And that's the question, because you can talk about what has been done, but are the people satisfied? Are they
but
pleased
what makes
with this?
People to be
with what has been happening? Is what has been done? Because I mean, even for example, you can make reference to the Patriotic Front. Things that the Patriotic Front did. If you talk about, especially around infrastructure development, some people are happy, but some people it was not enough for them. There's more that they aspire to do. So things can be done, but the question is, are people appreciating that? Are they receiving it positively enough to guarantee a vote?
Definitely. You see, you are working here at Diamond. For you to be here for 10 years, 5 years, it means you are happy with Diamond, whatever that they're giving you. You are not here for free, you are here for a salary. Okay? So what makes you happy is a salary. All right? So what makes citizens happy is the development that we're giving them. Unless you tell me someone who say it is very bad for President Hakainde Hichilema to put up that road in Sakanya connecting Dola and Mufurila up to Mkambo, up to Mwansa.
But it's also the nature of human beings to, you may do good, but sometimes people will look at the bad. And for some people, the bad
I agree.
Could outweigh the good. So good things can be done. And that's why I made a reference to the previous regime. There were some things that happened that were good, and some of them have been continued today. But because of the bad, probably why they lost election. So don't you think that there's a possibility that...
I agree. You know, we are living under an environment where sin, is all over. And it's not right. It's not even normal for everybody to believe in an individual. Because even God himself, people are preaching every Sunday, pastors are preaching, but still some people still can't buy into that message for salvation. So if they are failing to understand the message of God, what about the message of President Hakainde Hichilema? He's just a human being. Not everyone can believe in him. So that we know that, yes, there are some people who cannot...
And from your assessment...
For instance, let me give you an example. Just a minute.
Yeah.
Those cadres who are, could just go Wasanga plot, Lamba Fekutampla, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is your plot. No papers, no nothing, no council. Those who are collecting levies in the markets, today they are no longer there. Bus station, today they are no longer there. You think those people can love President Hakainde Hichilema? Zero. Because where they were soup. So they will never, no matter how President Upnd Chilema will bring the exchange rate down, blah, blah, zero. So such people exist in our society, and it's normal.
There are 15 constituencies on the Copper Belt today. How many of these constituencies do you think you will win as UPND?
Copper Belt, I think we have 20 something, not 15.
There are more than 15 constituencies.
There are 20, should be 29, I stand to be corrected. There should be 29, and after the limitation.
Yeah. How many of these do you think you're going to win?
Where we stand right now, I may not give you correct figures, because in an election, even 2 days before election, things can change. Okay? So it would be wrong for me to tell you, oh, here we are going to, but I'll tell you where we are standing right now.
We're going to win the majority.
We are at 70%. Yes. Even today we are doing some calculations. The UPND is standing at 70%.
Which means you're going to win 70% of the seats and lose 30%.
Definitely, that's democracy. That's what democracy is.
Which among the 30% of the seats do you think you're going to lose?
Losing, I may not mention here, but it's part of our strategy. I cannot come here and mention.
But you know them internally as people from there.
As I mentioned, in a democracy, in as much as we want to win everyone, every seat, every vote, but it's not possible. I've already mentioned here. It's not possible to win 100% in a democracy like what we have today. Remember, we have a conducive environment that President Upnd Chilema has created for each and everyone, to campaign freely. Meaning, if you have a message, a good message, people can believe in you. And like where we are coming from, people are being blocked. Now, manifesto is masana. Zero. You have no time.
You believe you've got a good message as UPND?
Very much. Actually, you have seen. Ever since we started the campaigns, you have seen our colleagues copying what the UPND. You remember they have been saying, no, but UPND, Tapali from what? Tafion zero. When you talk of CDF, Tapali is a hoax. When you talk of free education, remember what they used to call. They said, they asked the President Upnd Chilema, Iwe, Ulela Tapali free education, where are you going to get the money from? Remember, you in the media, you know these issues. Today, President Upnd Chilema has managed. No, free education is not only a policy, but it's also an idea and also a formula on how you raise money. Because government is paying on behalf of parents. That's what you need to understand. As we speak right now, we are talking of close to 30 billion kwacha that has been spent on free education. Money which was supposed to come from our fiashi bali pila kubuteko. But it's government now paying for them, keeping their money. Okay? So, it's not only a policy, but formula on how to raise money. Remember our NSWAP. When they were suspending new allowances, they gave a reason. They said we have no money. Meaning,
we'll become to the specific issues that you have promised the Zambian people and what you've done. And it's good Chimweka started off with how the Copper Belt is doing, because we're deliberate to start off with that. The main opposition so far, that is poised to be the main opposition in the country, is Brian Munduwile's NRPUP. He began his campaign trail on the Copper Belt. And when he launched his first mega rally, there were thousands of people that attended that particular rally.
And he's expected to go back, actually.
And it's expected to go back. Makebi says the Copper Belt is one of their biggest strongholds. Would you agree?
Look, this is a problem that we have in this country from our colleagues. Politics is a science. And whatever that you do, you need to calculate and see how you come up with such numbers. First and foremost, these our colleagues, where we name my comrade Mwansa. When you look at these people, when I ask you, tell me their secretariat, they won't show you. When they want to have a meeting, they go Mama Lodges, Nama Hotel. That is a weakness already. Ask them, do they have structures? They don't have. Okay? Now, if you say...
Where are they getting those huge crowds? Everywhere they go, they're huge crowds.
Crowds can be there. Remember,
but
I'm coming.
There are 14 presidential candidates.
I'm coming.
And it's only President Upnd Chilema and himself who are having those crowds.
Crowds should not even worry you, because, people are coming. Sometimes people may come to see who is this man who has come.
Why are they coming to see the other 12?
Remember, no, I wanted to explain so that you understand. These are our same colleagues that we had in PF. Okay? And when PF, had to divide itself in two functions. Their supporters, the 1.8, lost hope. Okay? They lost direction. So after seeing the two leaders emerging, coming together, that hope has been resuscitated. So I'll tell you that these guys are just, fishing from the same ponds. The same ponds of 1.8 million. So when you talk of 1.8 million, my friend, it's not a small number. When you are calling them to say, to focus, when they had that rally, that was the whole Copper Belt, remember? They got their members from all the districts. So for instance, let's just measure to say they were just 10,000 there. How many voters are on the Copper Belt? So these are the issues. You should not measure your popularity using a crowd.
But you say yourself that politics is a science, and perception is also a science.
Yes, but what I'm saying should not just base on you on crowds. This is what I'm saying.
Based on what?
I started explaining on the organization itself. When you ask them, why are you together, they will tell you we are together because we want to fight Hakainde, to remove Hakainde. They're not saying they are together to develop Zambia. These are the issues, and Zambians are listening. Zambians are following. This is why, for the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, when they have been campaigning, when they go in a manifesto, they don't have a proper direction. They ask them, see, when Sata was coming on the scene, he came with that slogan of "More money in the pockets." Okay, the Upnd to Aishirena will fix it. Okay, and we have fixed. Messages were quite. Kapali, wambo kulanda nomba. Efo tulego mbai for the Upnd. But they have no manifesto, no plan. They are clueless.
They've shared their plan for this country. We saw.
So tell me,
there was a plan. There's a launch that happened. We've spoken to them. I mean, you are saying they write their manifesto in the vehicle, but they have told the people what they plan on doing and what they plan on doing differently from President Hakainde. They say that he has failed to meet the promises he made, and they feel they can do better.
Which promises?
These are things that we get to play within, some of their adverts, their paid-for adverts. They speak about, first of all, in the fight against corruption. He promised he was going to strengthen it, give more power to the leaders, whether it's from the Anti-Corruption Commission, from these law enforcement agencies. And they've said people have not been able to see that. He was very critical of people who were serving under the administration of the PF that time. And people expected that he would have that kind of strong force towards even just the corruption perception in this country. That's one of the examples they give. They speak towards the famous, of course, issues around cost of living, what people will be having in their trolleys, how much a bag of minimum will be, fertilizer. You've heard these sentiments in these arguments.
That's not their manifesto.
So no, that's around what they said they'll do.
Those are complaints coming from the people. And I want what they are going to do about such.
Do better in terms of, obviously, cost of living and corruption are some of the examples. So they make reference to that and how President Nigeria has failed in that regard.
I'll tell you. Let's just be factual. This is why when they are here, when they talk of minimum is very expensive, ask them, how are you going to reduce minimum? Because just few months ago, Kambwili had a press briefing where I was complaining about the price of a bag of maize at 340. Okay? He was saying, if you want matabe fiso, in his own understanding, but President Hakainde said, look, you cannot build the economy by reducing the price so that you have a reduced minimum price of minimum there. No, how you do it, you invest in production. As we speak right now, minimum is at 170 across. I don't know here in Lusaka, but where I'm coming from on the Copper Belt, it's 175. Now, ask me, what has brought the price to what from 300 something to 175? It's a high production that we have scored the 5 million metric tons. So there are measures that you need to put for you to reduce. But our next one that is to reduce the price of a bag of maize. What does it mean? You'll be killing a farmer. Ask them when they are here. Reduce mutengo wa bunga. They are not talking about, they are very mute about it. They will just condemn to say, no akainde bunga landire, no akainde. You need to, this is why I'm saying they have no manifesto. Because if you have a manifesto and you appear before you very sharp guys, they should tell you to say, akainde fiachitire is producing 5 million, as we produce 10 million tons of maize. This is how we do it. This is how we reduce a bag of maize, and eventually to reduce a bag of minimum. They are not saying that. All they are saying is Akainde promised. But you see, I will tell you, for the first time in the history of this country, ever since President Akainde Chilema came into power, I've never witnessed minimum shortage. Even when we had the drought, we only had the expensive minimum. That has never happened. You saw Lusambo whipping people on ShopRite. Ngawasta 2 bags kukulopola unless you buy 1 bag. Why? Because there was no minimum. But ever since President Akainde Chilema, all that is showing you that there are some measures that this government has done for us to score the 5 million metric tons. It's not abracadabra. Well, that no mulapela fertilizer mameda. Comrades, if they were giving him a part,
but that's what President Akainde
President Akainde has been
you are misquoting him. Now let me explain.
Before you explain, let's pick someone calling us from the copper belt in Ndola. Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
I hope Ndola is okay.
Oh, we are fine, we are fine.
Mwenya, go ahead with your contribution, Wakalamba.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Ghost. Ndipo venande paiva bossa wareve povya. Because before Varelanda, now what is on the ground here is different. Our abantu bafuye babombesha sana. Babombesha sana.
So, Mr. Mwenya.
Yes, sir.
When you say he's not being truthful, what exactly is he not being truthful about? What do you think he's not being truthful about?
He's saying those guys, they don't have the numbers. But as we are able to see the numbers, even when you go in downtown, today I was in Luansha, is the same thing. That day I was in Impongwe, is the same thing. So those people are serious with what they are doing.
Okay.
So, Mr. I open a landeni shinka kubantu ebena want what is on the ground. Don't just go there on the middle part. There is nothing on the copper belt. No. Mweva listen da bantu the whole copper belt is you Upnd on.
Okay.
You transport a lot of people from all the districts from copper belt.
All right.
But
Thank you, Mr. Mwenya. Well, Mr. Mwenya doesn't seem to agree with your sentiments.
I think it's definitely when you are supporting the opposition, you just stand your ground to say they are on. But I'll tell you, the Upnd has structures on the copper belt, and we have a formula. So when I'm talking to, I know what I'm talking about. He doesn't know because they have no formula. Him is backing on. We sometimes don't disclose such formulas on air. You know, he's backing on the number of people.
You think the opposition?
The number of people coming to the rallies. But voters my comrade, you know, I was following the elections in Zimbabwe. That opposition leader. He used to pull crowds, but nothing happened. So crowds always mislead people, and this is why we are also telling our colleagues, manage your excitement for now. Because if you want to manage your excitement, that day, a lot of people will develop BP. So because to them, they have won an election. So, okay, honestly, guys, about almost 8 MPs, they have said, no, if you don't 8 MPs, tamukwete. Over 50 council chairperson over mayor, nama councillors, tamukwete.
How? Not over 8 MPs.
No, I'm saying not almost.
No. Because according to the Electoral Commission of Zambia, only seven.
That is unopposed. I'm not saying unopposed. I'm saying those they have not put Abantoa Kwiminina, not unopposed. That's what I'm saying here. So Tawabikile Mutawakwetema MPs. Now, listen.
You said how many MPs don't they have?
I may not have.
They've said that over 80 MPs.
Not over, almost. So it can be from 70 to 80, somewhere there. Now, you come and say, Akainde Chilema, Stronghold Yakuni Southern Province, Northwestern, and a leader who is seeking for leadership of the whole country. You have seen the way President Akainde is moving everywhere, and he is stronghold is Zambia. When about Copper Belt and Lusaka openly, but they are even saying it proudly to say,
is it not the same? Because we spoke about this earlier. You said you are winning about 70% of the Copper Belt, and the meaning is that there's a 30%, and from that 30%, you yourselves as the UPND, or according to you and maybe the people you discuss with, you're aware that that 30% will be very difficult for you. You're already in your mind.
That's democracy.
In your mind, 30% is gone. So how different is it if that perception is also there for the NRPUP?
I never said the Copper Belt is our stronghold.
So the only difference is they've mentioned and you haven't.
They have mentioned to say these other provinces do not matter in their calculations. What matters is Lusaka and Copper Belt. How can you? Because you as a leader, when you are addressing the nation, you need to unify the country, even by your statements. If you say you was seated here saying we can't go there and campaign because that is stronghold for honestly,
let's go to
and you think they can win just like that.
Let's go to another district on the Copper Belt and hear what people are saying. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Mkwai mwa wombeni mkwai.
Mkwai mwa wombeni.
Ndita wa banda. Mkwai.
Nati nsashepo peri ashirire landu hapo.
Mkwai.
Namushiba iringirine. Abaneso aba African Safia Charonga bari kumira basa. Shari ngokwe bati bantu kudi abantu abalefi konke fe bari landine. So, ninkonka sana filelanda ni bachisenga
Chisange
bachisanga bachisange fyo balelanda fishinka sana abo mwana sango kwebati baletalika bachisange fyo balelanda ni abo abantu lyonse abasangwa kumila basa abatuma amafoni. Whenever there is a phone in program, the same names nangutalandeshina lyakwe tamulalandeshina lyakwe kumva fyeshiwi lyakwe mwamwishi wati nichite mwala umfwa nomba moneni efyo chifuili okuba tule chita compare what has UPND done in the 4 years they've been in power compared to the 10 years others have been in power. Because pama progressive governments yonse UPND take up no. But when we compare their output to these others about 10 years, what is there is one, badengeri abana kukula, batsule sukulu, balaye batichawa mana ya kujimu pantu nishinchito ya moneka na kumako big pompa. Nishina kwate nchitoko, then two, badengeri tia lubudi all over, badeteri obunangani kubantu dependency syndrome, ma free handout abantu kula chesha mma stadium, ukuya mkuforo tubunga no tuma 20 kwacha. That culture is long gone. Bambye yo bashadira munayo na nomba line nolo batali kaba nabo se babombere fyamano babi bebukisha fine fyakale. Hello, let's look at the shortest time UPND has been in power and what they have been able to do compared to the time someone spent over 10 years. Now they say 10 years. Hello, limo tule tontonkanya. If you chitika Muzambia, Chimonefi are chitika kubana ba Israel. Ukula sunsha, susha makaya kwalesa. Muno Muzambia today susha.
We'll have to leave it there for now. With Upnd. So, please, as you call in, please, very important that we keep time in mind so that we can accommodate other callers as well as time for our guests to respond.
So I wanted to just go through quickly why the UPND should be trusted. I'll talk to the civil servants, the police. Remember where you're coming from. a civil servant, a degree holder, diploma holder, cadre was more powerful to these people. Remember how they were being harassed. Under the UPND, 5 years of the UPND, our Neswale Balundirama 4%. As we stand right now, over 3,500 was added in 5 years to their salaries. We were civil servant. Our police had no chance. My brother, I'm coming from the Copper Belt where it was a war zone. There was no respect for these men and women in uniform. I mean, traffic. Today we have given them back that respect. Talk of our farmers. If there are people who are supposed to rise, because I know 70% of the economy is being run under agriculture. If there are people who are supposed to rise and support President Daka in the Chilema, the farmers, they kept that price at 180 deliberately to keep the prices of minimum low. President Daka in the Chilema said, no, let's help our farmers to grow because agriculture is business. I'm paying a farmer for 340. Today, people have shifted from cultivating soybeans to cultivating maize. This is why we have these are deliberate policies that President Daka in the Chilema has brought. The 5 million, these are the measures that President has brought. Now we have 5 million metric tons of maize. Imova farmer imwe. Our farmer, when they produce their whatever, via per market. The person who was putting price on their behalf was a cadre. They will go and discuss with a buyer, a lady, Mayo, tomato 10 kwacha, but Badamova pay 3 kwacha. They balance the top, balance on top. Yandi. A farmer will be just seated there. Afmana loss. I have a father, a certain man. Garden no money because of cadres. At Mandev, is this Mandev opposite Heroes? What's this market here? Yes, there. Business yap. Cadres were doing business on his. So, Imova farmer. Remember on FISIP, we only had about 600,000 real beneficiaries. The rest were ghost beneficiaries. President Akande Chima just came in, audit quickly over close to 300 plus.
Don't you said that President Akande Chima was misquoted on the issues of Medas.
Yes.
But before you respond to that question, we've got Joshua Piri calling us from within the capital city, Lusaka. Hello, Joshua Piri.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening to you, sir.
Thank you so much. I'll just quickly make my submission. First of all, we need to continue with the UPND. Number one, there is no alternative. Me and you agree that there is no alternative.
Correct.
You hear the opposition talking about brilliant ideas, and the question that we all can ask is, where were those ideas? Those are the guys that had the power, you know. You ask this guy, Brian Mundewile, what are you going to do? How are you going to create opportunities? Where are you going to get the money? He will say, oh, this country has a lot of resources. The question is, were they unable to realize that this country had resources when they had power?
That's a question.
Hello?
Joshua Perry, thank you so much for coming through.
So quickly, before I come to the issue of Meda, Ngaba social cash transfer. When we are in the opposition, they are saying, Uyunga Isaka Indaka Ifunyako. Don't vote for him. What has happened? It's the opposite. When he came, increased the number from 700,000, today there are about 1.3, 1.5 beneficiaries. Not only that, walunda konenda lama, wale folama 800. Wawashitira tumisange, tumaponi. Direct, because wale lenda lama wabakotiawa. Nabambi. That we have achieved. We had a very severe drought, where in after I saw Monica drought, my 2 hectares I said, oh, number patuachula. President Daka Inde Chilema came in with full force. No one died of hunger. Let's not forget these things, Bane. This is how you test a leader. No one died of hunger. Instead, we saw now President and his government introducing programs just to help Wabantu. Because that it never just brought hunger, but also load shedding. Today, wale to say, hey, Dubai. Are we not fulfilling that formula of Dubai? Now, from Chisange, 100 megawatts, phase 1, phase 2, 200 megawatts. I was in Chipata just 2 weeks ago, where another 100 megawatts is coming. The whole country, I'm a solar chifume. Thermal plants, when you talk of Ezra in Sinazongwe, we have Evergrande. Those are thermal, which are coming. Mamba Coralis, Imu. All this came out of the drought, because that drought, President Hakainde, when I sat one day, I was saying, this is an opportunity for us to do more things. I didn't realize what he meant. Drought, 5 million metric tons. We are talking of the target, 10,000 megawatts. It's coming from this drought. We are celebrating today our Kambwiri. Can even go on. Zambia. Can even go proudly standing in front of people. You know, the shedding, even Neikawela. Iwe. Nishimukatowa masola aka India wikide. Mukana hama mwambo kuya toba ulayo satiku amalate ayaleko kwisa. Nangu mukashimia fili wale panga fya mathemu. So all that is just proper, just to mislead, because they understand that most of their followers do not understand these issues. So but I will tell you, my mother there, my brother, my sister, who understands issues, they are able to see at this present, not shedding it, not because of elections, but because of the investments that we have done.
Let's put right things into context here.
Now listen, just a simple one. In 2015, I attended a rally where former President Edgar Lungu, may so rest in peace. He went there when we had the partial drought in 2015. He went on a podium. There was some information that was given to say we are focused to reach about 18,000 miners because of load shedding. He just left Kitwe. He landed in Lusaka. The following day, 15,000 miners were retrenched. Now ask me, under a severe drought, did you hear anybody losing a job on the copper belt? None. Instead, we saw production under severe load shedding. Production was going up. Mines were recruiting. Copper imwe. Tumwalanda tu muntu esafu mepole bomba fionsef nishimwe fialo mwabakusita Mzambia. Wa Chimweka.
Let's talk about these issues of medals, because I think President Hakainde did speak about it himself. He did acknowledge the fact that people have been sharing fertilizer in medals.
That's correct.
And if re-elected, they will ensure that this comes to an end.
That's correct. Look, the FISI program was initiated to help a farmer, a subsistence farmer, not to sustain them for forever. It's 3 years, you have to graduate, another person comes in. But our colleagues took advantage of this. They were using it for campaigns. They could keep a cooperative on that program for 20 years. So it was like a traditional program for them. Now, when we came into power, we realized this is a mistake. We need to correct it. How do you correct it? We said, no, let's open the window. Let others also come in. I'll give it, for instance, in Kitu. Those who are on FISIP, there should be 12,000 or 13,000. Those are the number of packs that are given in Kitu to the farmers. But ask me how many people applied for the same 12,000 packs. 36,000 people applied for that. What does that mean? It means the number of bags that the government is giving to the farmers, it was just a drop in an ocean. Now, because of this challenge of opening this window, those cooperatives, for instance, there may be very more 30 as members, and they were collecting 30 packs. So, because we have introduced another cooperative which is new, this has to graduate, you reduce the packs in that cooperative which is 30 members, you bring it to 15. Then the other 15 you give the new cooperative. Okay? What happens to the 15 members in that cooperative, the old cooperative? Definitely, when you are given Mwansa, Wampera 6 packs, Chimweka here has been left out. What do you do as a friend in that cooperative? You get 1 bag, 2 bags. So when President Hakainde Chilema is saying we don't want the system we want to stop that system, he's saying we need to increase the number of beneficiaries on that program. So much that ngamuli 15 to 25 packs. That's a message. No, he's not saying There is nobody, I challenge you people in the media, nobody who on that program, because we are government sponsors about 1,024,000 farmers. Nobody from that number gets a medal. They get 6 packs. Unless you tell me that you had one who called this radio program at Nalipia for 400 kwacha vampera 6 packs. Vampera medal.
That's Reverend.
That's a message.
Reverend Justin Band is calling us from within Osaka. Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. How are you?
Very well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'll be brief. Sure. First of all, I just want to start by saying I want to say thank you to the gentleman who is there. I don't know his name or how is he saying things. And secondly, I want you to allow me to speak in my mother's language, which is Chichewa.
Kambani bakuru.
So zikomo kwambiri. Akulu I'm one of bantu bamene banavotera UPND chifukwa chakuti PF mwenze lawlessness. But kunchisebenza ba PF banzosebenza I could see to say aya roads vanapanga ivi ma schools vanapanga ma hospitals vanapanga. I saw those things. Then when UPND came into power, first thing venonachita is to stop ya jama projects, come back they want to do audits. I'll cite one example. If you are going to Chongwe, going to Kanakantapa, there is a road that was started. Nishwasiriza kudala waje wa PF. Kwa sababu chepa ngona tisire tamaki, wanaimika. Now when you come back to Kubandrama, then tell me if today muamene mgaende murodi ija, yamene nzo sira kudala, then wanaisiriza parodi, then if you are to restart it, building that road, how much money are you going to waste? Because these are dramas in Zambia. Then, lastly now, I want to talk about the so-called free education. No one kulipe muntu amene safuna free education, but the type of free education is not conducive. Ine wana wanga benzonda pachiwoli hapo mu class grade 12 balimo 180 wankala pansi. Okay, then we are kuchoka kunyumba kwenda kutua kapezeja government school because in Kanyama kapena muli ya government schools ya 3 or 4 maybe something like that. Then tell me what type of wajawana na ma homework sawa pasiwa teacher is not marking them. So what type of free education is that? Then chosirizira maningi ni CDF yamene bantu akampapo maningi. Ine ninkala mwakanyama sinizwa kuti CDF inachitamo chani. Kanga CDF wantu wamakongole sana no kudia manyumba mwawa I don't know. Because kwa mene ninkala road ya nipitamo kansera wa ward 14 ankala msame road. MP ankala mwamene paja pafupi. But I've never seen them doing anything. And it's na vepo na va CDF. After tunabaonela pa ballot itavota tikalibewa onapo la Chris wanaimilile futi. So thank you so much my brother. Ambuya kudaliseni pamene mukampena kuti mukawine next ngati mzawina zikomo kwambiri.
Zikomo kwambiri Justin Banda.
So if you allow me to quickly to respond to the Reverend. So let me begin by the stopping of projects. The UPND did not stop projects. That's number one. The stopping of the projects was done by the PF. Remember, former Minister of Finance Wariangando was on the floor of the House, where he announced any project which is below 80% is going to be halted because we have no money as government. This is why, my brother, mwayapa mahoste mwasanga fyali minina, imisewo fyali minina, fyonse, ama skulu mwasanga, ama latabali bikama, nama windows wali kabachali minina. It was because of funding. Now, when we came into power, a good government, a prudent government, cannot just move in kwamba ukupanga. They have to find out what happened to the project. So, doing the audits is not wrong. It's part of the system. It's part of governance. Okay? Now, when you are doing development, you have to measure your pocket. Okay? You have to measure your pocket. It's not just that because it's very chishile, so you don't have money, you go and borrow. Even when you went through a very difficult circumstances of debt, had it not been for President Daka Inde Chilema, and I thank God that God brought President Daka Inde Chilema at this hour. Alanga tuwali piwa. Imagine, just close your eyes. HH never lost an election and PF continued. Chalonga Chadshan. Okay? So, the projects, stopping of the projects, it was done by PF, and resuming of these projects, it is being done systematically Ngamoko tendalama mwaingisho. This is why I can say now my hostels, government ndalama, even using PPP, they have started now, bring up those hostels and other infrastructure. So that is the order that we have introduced in government. Coming to CDF and the quality education, because the pastor is saying quality education, and is good is a reverend. Even when you are opening a church like this, you have a certain number according to the law. To say, 50, only 30. But if you are preaching as a man of God, 100 people came, you can't chase those people because that is a positive challenge that you are facing. Because out of that, you make that reverend to go and look for a bigger building or a church. So free education policy, it is a positive challenge. It's because of free education that today we can boast as a nation that we are now standing close to above 46,000 teachers have been recruited. Had it not been for free education, so it is because of this free education we have created opportunities for our citizens. It's because of free education we have made it sure that desks should be manufactured here. Remember, we were importing desks. I'm a desk if a simple table area. You go to China, you go to South Africa, you go to India and UK. Encourage abantu kuya mukusenda ma desk ku UK. Today, President Dakandechilema came, said, we need to start manufacturing. How do you manufacture? Let's take our youths let's equip them with skills. 200,000 as we speak. Out to Sambisha CDF. Tuwapela ma grants, bale sambirira. Tuwapela nenchi, tubale pangama desk. Not only that, remember that government is spending money. Over 1 billion kwacha has been spent on manufacturing of desks, over 700,000 desks. Money has gone back to the people.
Let's go to the central problem.
It is, I'm coming. I want to tackle this issue of quality education. Because our colleagues who said free education, they are coming back to say, no, free education will continue, but we'll make it quality by buying uniforms. How do you make quality education? I will tell you, comrade, today, when you go in these universities, never be cheated. Go and do a survey. Most of the pupils, students who have 6 points, 9 points, are coming from government schools. We just recorded a 70% pass rate. Is it last year? Or this year?
From last year.
Yes. What does it mean?
Which opposition say that they really doubt your numbers as you.
That is quality education we are talking about because it's a combination of different items brought together. You provide the teacher, you provide the desk, you also provide water, which we are doing. Also provide space. We have done close to 10,000 across the country. Classroom blocks. 1 by 3, 1 by 5. So this is a process. It's not something that you can do within 5 years, 1 year. No.
You finish your thoughts there. We've got someone calling us from Central Province. Hello, good evening.
Thank you very much. Good evening to you, and good evening to the listeners.
Yes, Mr. Chimweka.
Yes, very quickly, I just want to appreciate my brother on TV. But first and foremost, I want us to take us back very quickly. 2020, this country defaulted on our sovereign debt.
Imagine.
We could not pay the Eurobond coupon of $48 million. And so from 2020, we were stuck as a country. We took office in 2021. We embarked on debt restructuring. 94% of that debt has been restructured. Today, this government is able to finance 70% of the budget. Mm-hmm. That is where now we have headroom to even repay the retirees. If you remember very well, retirees used to be at Ministry of Justice getting socked, and also at Ministry of Finance. Today, all the retirees under government have been cleared. And I think this is a milestone. Job creation. Very quickly, job creation, we know that as a country, private sector and government, we have created 1 million jobs. Government has created close to 90 or 100,000 jobs. And I think this is a milestone. Talking about the wage freeze, we are the wage freeze, by the way. Wage freeze and employment freeze.
Yes.
When we took office, we now started embarking on giving a salary increase, 12%, 10%, 700 and 500 kwacha. This is a civil service where there was no hope in hell. We have made progress in NAPSA reform. Today, if a civil servant is retiring, he gives notice 3 months. and they'll be able to tap into the NAPSA contribution, 30% of it. This is progress, dear colleagues. And I think certain things, as much as we may have our challenges, but this country now has some reputation. The country was in a junk state. We know that. But we have chosen to look at issues by way of a song.
We should
so never treat this country by way of just...
Lennox Chimweka is calling us from Central Province. The question we're asking, should the UPND be given another opportunity to continue running the country? Our guest, Cephas Chisange, popularly known as the Upnd. We take a break. When we're back, he responds to the rest of the questions that you have, but also we ask tough questions that the opposition are raising against the government of the day.
Mikuza bali ni boss.
We are moving ahead. Zambia! 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 Yes! Angome kumbele!
Mikuza bali ni boss. Zabali ni boss.
Imagine a big stage, music and lights, people singing and dancing all day and night.
Enjoy all the nutritional benefits of real milk with Maximove flavored milk, rich in calcium, vitamin D, and protein. Let Maxi move you.
In every celebration, there's a simple choice being made. To belong, count me in. Of love and promises for tomorrow, count me in. At the checkout line, in the middle of an ordinary day, a reminder that every number matters. Count me in. Across our communities, our streets, the same message finds us. Count me in. From the everyday worker to the hands shaping our future every day, the call is the same. Count me in. And around the traditions that bring us together, the message becomes impossible to ignore. Count me in.
This election season, your vote counts. Get your NRC and voter's card ready.
Count me in.
Well, thanks so much to those that are still calling in and those that are sending us messages on our Facebook page. We are streaming this program live on our Facebook page. That's at Diamond TV Online. We're discussing, should the UPND be given another opportunity to continue running the country? Our guest is Cephas Chisange, popularly known as the Eye Opener. He is the UPND media member. A number of questions have come through that she wants to respond to, but in all the campaign trail of the opposition, they've branded you two things as UPND. Number one, you're liars. All right? Number two, you've completely failed to deliver on the promises that you made commitment to for the Zambian people.
Okay, so
are you liars?
We are not, because you see, one.
And how sure can you be that is not a lie?
You see, when you have a society or a group of people who do not understand how things should run, definitely. Now, we might have Mwansa, if you saw Mwansa interview with if so. Somebody who doesn't understand journalism and everything, they will come and label you to be a tapane for Aishibawi. Look, we have our manifesto. You know, the agenda of the UPND is to recover the economy, stabilize it, and it should take off. What does it mean? When we just came, we had, my brother has touched a lot of issues, and I'm glad wherever he's watching from. We had an issue of debt. This economy was down, grounded. The economy was in negatives. Today we are talking, we are celebrating, we are around 6%. Inflation from 24 to 6.7%. GDP, our GDP was at $19 billion. Today we are hitting 36. Remember the president was talking about doubling the GDP and the like. We are at $36 billion. Now tell me, our colleagues were making a budget of 120 billion kwacha. Today we are around, with the supplementary budgets and everything, we are around 300 billion kwacha. Imomo let's spend 100 kwacha, let's spend 300 kwacha. We have brought a lot of programs. When you look in the health sector, they are spending 1.5 billion kwacha to buy medicines. We are spending over 6 billion kwacha. This is why you have seen the availability of medicines in these hospitals. It's not abracadabra. So when you look at these fundamentals, our economy is punchy. If we inflation, how can you come turn around and say about pay for it? Okay, if they say we are liars and our promises are fake, why are they saying free education is okay? It's their policy. Okay, well, it's also part of the promise. Why are they saying CDF? The CDF they were calling as Hawks whatever. They at CDF, we are going to empower women. They are saying they will use CDF to buy uniforms for the pupils to make it quality education. The same CDF is a promise of the UPND. $1 million, but today it's over.
So you promised to repeal the Cybersecurity Act. You maintained it and you enhanced.
Definitely, yes, we maintained, because you see, it's not every bad thing, a good thing that you find should be thrown away.
But
this is why we refined it. Now, this is another issue that they are bringing to the people. This is as we have refined the cyber law. Because in 2021 should be March, if I stand to be corrected, should be March or April. President Edgar Lungu is the one who initiated this law, the cyber law. Do we agree that it was not started by
in principle,
but have you seen it when they are standing on those?
But what did you say when this was introduced? That the first thing you're going to get rid of is a cybersecurity law, because it's a cake law. It's undemocratic. So it doesn't deserve space in a democratic system like ours.
So the best way we did, as I've explained, instead of just throwing it, we said let's refine it, and this is what we did.
So it became good.
Us refining this law, which they introduced.
So what did you mean when you say you're going
I want to Makebi Zulu when he's here.
So what did you mean?
Listen, first word.
What did you mean?
Zulu when he's here. Ask him who introduced the cyber.
No, we agree in principle. It's a PF. With that we agree.
But what are they saying about Pamarati?
So Pamarati, Ngabaisa again, in office. Cyber security.
No, they are not saying the same. They are saying the UPND brought this law to shut you down. Now, let's be factual. Who is being shut?
So the question,
with the cyber?
But the argument they are saying is that, look, today people are not able to express themselves. In fact, this example that Makebi gives consistently at all the rallies, that one of the most common comments on nearly every political post is that I don't have a lawyer, making reference that there's a big brother watching me through the cybersecurity. And when they come into office, they'll make people more free by ensuring that they completely get rid of the cybersecurity law. My question to you is this. When the Patriotic Front government introduced this law, you and President Hakainde Hichilema, I openly said this is extremely bad law. It doesn't deserve space in a democratic dispensation. What changed?
Yeah, so when we came into power, we looked at the law, and we are living in a global village where times and seasons are changing. We are coming from a background where people were tukana paso face to face. Today, someone can just close himself in a room, they start insulting you, abusing you. When you take that person to court, if there is no law, because of technology, we are talking about technology, because of this law, and the scammers are out to quarter, someone is in Tanzania, because of this arrangement of the global village that we are living in, it was fit for this government. So, okay, we can.
But that's the argument. That's the argument. The PF had.
So are you going to apologize to the Zambians tonight that
no apology?
You are
this is why I'm saying no. It's not about ignorance.
When you condemned it.
Listen, it's not about.
And further, you said you looked into the law. So meaning you never looked at it before this.
Look. When we came, as I've explained, we looked at this law.
So meaning you never looked at it prior. You condemned without looking at it.
No. We looked at it, but you remember our colleagues, okay, wanted to use this law to suppress the opposition.
Which is the same complaint they're expressing now.
I'm coming to that. They are saying, Mwansa asked the question to say, when they're commenting, they're saying there is no lawyer. But I will ask you people in the media, who has been stopped from expressing themselves. You need to understand that our colleagues, the only challenge that they have today, they were living above the law. Now, when President Hakainde Hichilema came, he said, no one should live above the law. We should all live under the law. Now, because of this weight of under that law, to them it feels they have been stopped from expressing themselves. I will tell you, we have been oppositional leaders here, seated where I am seated, criticizing President Hakainde Hichilema, who has been arrested. Nobody. So the only problem was to kwetena wadabanesu. Because to them, freedom of expression is to go and stand on a podium to start abusing Mwansa, to start abusing Chimweka, start abusing Cephas. That is now freedom of expression. You have seen these young men and the women. They will go TikTok, start abusing, insulting elders. To them, that is freedom of expression. This is why you see when you say, I don't have a lawyer. They are telling you direct to say, I want to insult, but I don't have a lawyer. Because why should you need a lawyer when you want to say good things? Why should you need a lawyer? I don't agree with your suit. Do I need a lawyer? So that is a clear indication that this person wanted to insult. But because of this law, they have been stopped, which is a good thing.
Well, many of them say that they're scared to criticize government.
No, that is a lie. I've challenged you in the media. That's a lie.
So,
we have stopped them from insulting.
So, and it's not a lie because we've conducted.
It's not us, but the law.
So, and we've conducted a number of vox pops to go to universities to ask students on what they think about their freedoms.
So if
some students say we are unable to express ourselves because we are scared that there's a big brother watching through the cybersecurity law. They are scared to criticize government.
The cybercrimes law.
Cybercrimes law. So this is the sentiments that are coming from the people.
Okay.
Do you think on your side as UPND, you've not done a good job in educating people around the cyber law?
No, we have done, and it's also a duty of you people in the media working together with government. This is a responsibility for everybody. When people appear here, as you are saying, you went for whatever, a survey and everything, you are supposed to ask those students, what kind of words were you, which you wanted to say, which you feared to say, what kind of words? They will never tell you that. But if you give me one example, I wrote
this question down here. I wrote this question down here as a concluding question. Mr. I open up. What would the people of Zambia be missing out if they choose not to vote for the UPND next month?
If they don't choose the next UPND?
If they choose not to vote.
What would they be missing out?
No, a lot actually, because as we are speaking right now, let me just give one example of the meal allowances and the bursaries. From 1964, well, let me say from the time that the government started sponsoring students on bursaries, they only managed to sponsor 23,000 of our kids. Today, as we stand, as we are speaking to you, there are over 55,000 students on bursaries. Not on bursaries, meal allowances was also given back to them. Government is buying books for them, food for them. Do you know how many President Hakainde has added in the 5 years? Over 35,000. Shienda lama wasinde kuli mwana kashi na shimbi ule wali kulia ku kesi mwa zeli kudeta. Hakainde shonsi atola mu education yangi shaba 35,000. This is why when you go in these universities, you find different kids from all over the country. Ama bursary is Chalo Chonse.
And
so if they move, if they never chose to vote for President,
let me correct you on that. Let me correct you on that, Mr. Upnd. These are loans. These are student loans, and these people are paying back. So they're not bursaries. These are loans.
Yeah, they are loans. They're government loans. That's what I'm saying. But it is all about money and planning. It can be a loan if there's no money. You can't get it. This is why they restricted only to 23,000. We are saying we have expanded because President Hakainde has brought a plan to expand the number. That is an achievement. So if you choose not to vote, you'll be stopping that child, because the president is saying this number is too small because we need to add more. Remember when we had a meeting with the president at some point. What this government, what this president is thinking to say, maybe from 6 points to 20, they should get that loan. This is what President Hakainde is thinking. But this is not their vision. This vision belongs to President Hakainde. So when you remove President Hakainde, you are removing everything that he started. They have no idea on how they can run a country. Zero. This is why they can't tell you anything, Tamaraj. This. They only have two things: 50 kwacha bunga na fertilizer ya 250. But I'll tell you, had it not been for President Hakainde setting a manufacturing plant in this country, do you know how much fertilizer is in Brazil because of the wars in Iran and also Ukraine? Because this is where they were getting their fertilizers from. Imagine, even Zambia was importing fertilizer today. We are talking of the stability of supply. Countries are buying from here because of President Hakainde.
Mr. Upnd, we wish you all the best.
So this is what they can miss if President Hakainde is not in that seat. But I will tell you, my mother in Chipulukusu, in Kwacha, they know what President Hakainde has done. Not everything. I never said we have done everything. That would be wrong. What we have done, this is why the president is saying, I love you, I care for you, I will deliver for you. Still more things should be done. That's a message. President Hakainde is not saying he has done everything. We know the cost of living is up, but it's a combination of different items put together. You need to increase production. Yeah. You need to maintain exchange rate. You need to reduce the cost of doing business. All these development is not a sprint. It is a marathon. Ni process ni panon will be there. This is what happened to Mwansa. Mwansa was criticized in Lusaka and Copper Belt because of the wage freeze that he introduced. He said, let's not, they rose against him.
Cephas.
After sort out issue, what happened? Mwansa today, they are now calling him.
Thank you very much for joining us on the show tonight. We'll be joined by the United Party for National Development member of the media team, Cephas Chisange, popularly known as the Eye Opener, wrapping up tonight's edition of This Day. My name is Chimweka, Chileshe.
My name is Andrew Mwansa. Thank you so much for being a part of it. See you again tomorrow for a different exclusive edition of Diamond Live. Good night.